Welcome to Inside Sport Abu Dhabi. Coming up this month, a look ahead to the highly anticipated Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship 2018. We catch up with Emirati racing duo Amna and Hamda Al Qubaisi, and we go behind the scenes at the 2017 FIFA Club World Cup, where Al Jazira Football Club aimed to make their nation proud. Later in the show, we learn about the UAE's strong maritime heritage, and we take a look back at Abu Dhabi's major tennis event, the Mubadala World Tennis Championship. The UAE's capital city will once again welcome a star-studded field for the 2018 Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship, which takes place from the 18th to the 21st of January.
Golf have a good history with Abu Dhabi, as you said, talking about 12 years now, and becoming the best tournament around the region and the Middle East, and they can for sure say that it's one of the best in Asia, if not in the whole world.
Having finished runner-up on his Abu Dhabi debut last year, current world number one Dustin Johnson will be back and hoping to go one better this time around.
I'm really looking forward to it. Very pleased to have the opportunity to go over and play the HSBC Abu Dhabi, and I'm excited.
Reigning champion Tommy Fleetwood has had a memorable year on the UAE's golf courses, winning both in Abu Dhabi and Dubai in 2017. He'll be aiming to become the first back-to-back champion since Germany's Martin Keimer, but the 26-year-old will have plenty of competition. Four-time major champion Rory McIlroy will look to make a strong comeback after missing last year's tournament through injury. The Northern Irishman has finished second in Abu Dhabi on 4 occasions. Also contending for the Falcon Trophy is Swedish star Henrik Stenson. The current course record holder in Abu Dhabi has participated in every HSBC championship since its creation in 2006, but it's a tournament he's yet to win.
I've won the DP World Tour Championship twice, I won the Desert Classic, I won the Qatar Masters, and I've been second twice in Abu Dhabi, so that'd be a nice one to add to the collection.
Meanwhile, Justin Rose will be another main contender. Rose has competed in Abu Dhabi on 2 occasions, finishing runner-up in 2013. Excitement in the desert is guaranteed as the world's best players battle it out for the coveted Falcon Trophy.
The month of December marked the return of Abu Dhabi's Mubadala World Tennis Championship, which celebrated its milestone 10th edition. The competition was set to be extremely competitive as all contenders looked to start the season on the right foot. Unfortunately, 3-time Mubadala champion Novak Djokovic pulled out on the eve of the tournament, citing an elbow injury. But in order to keep fans entertained, British number 1 Andy Murray played an exhibition set as part of his hip injury rehabilitation, but lost 6-2 to finalist Roberto Bautista Agut.
When you haven't competed for a long time, it takes time to get back up to that sort of pace, and I started to feel a bit better towards the end. Yeah, it was nice, obviously. I was sort of planning on stopping here for a couple of days on the way over to Australia to get some practice in with the guys here. And then obviously it was unfortunate that Novak wasn't able to play, and I was here, so agreed to play a set, and I was very, very lucky to be able to come out here and play in front of everyone. It was good fun. I've missed it, and hopefully I can come back again.
Returning to tennis after almost a year away from the game was a big moment for Serena Williams as she competed in the very first women's match to be played at the tournament. Williams' comeback ultimately ended in defeat, succumbing to world number 7 and reigning French Open champion Helena Ostapenko.
I just am really proud of being out here, being able to play in Abu Dhabi. I miss playing, I miss the competition, I missed the crowd, the atmosphere. It's so much, that you don't see. So it was really nice to be back out there. I feel like this was a wonderful opportunity for me to kind of test to see where I am, not only physically, but mentally. It's like mentally, like you have to get over that hump of like, go for the shot, you're gonna be okay.
Despite her victory, Ostapenko was impressed with how competitive Williams had been, especially as the match progressed.
Yeah, I think I was, both of us were having a good time and having some great rallies and also serving and returning well. I think it's great to have such matches for also your experience. She's such a great champion and such a talented player, so I think not many players can play at such a high level after being out for a long time.
Aside from the tournament itself, there was lots of fun to be had inside the tennis village, where kids and adults alike took part in an array of engaging activities. The tournament finale was staged on centre court, where Kevin Anderson, true to form, was crowned champion after defeating Roberto Bautista Agut to become only the fourth player after Murray, Nadal and Djokovic to win the title.
Quite a few people know, this tournament has been going on for 10 years, so obviously a lot of great winners in the past, so it's nice to get that trophy.
It was a tournament that exceeded all expectations. Over 3 days of tantalising tennis. All eyes will be on Abu Dhabi as next year's tournament is set to be another star-studded event.
The Emirate of Abu Dhabi proudly hosted 7 of the world's finest football teams spanning 5 continents as they battled it out for the highly prized 2017 FIFA Club World Cup. The 14th edition of the competition was held over 11 days across the Emirate, with matches taking place in both Al Ain and Abu Dhabi. One of the key partners influential in ensuring the tournament's success was the Abu Dhabi Sports Council, who headed the local organising committee.
We were involved in many things. We had different departments, from competitions, marketing, PR. All the teams had a very well planned and organised process.
This careful planning was crucial, and one of the key areas was the selection and preparation of the world-class facilities.
We are happy that even the training sites are ready. Even from tomorrow if we start, the stadiums, Hamda Stadium and Midside Sports City Stadium are ready.
UAE side Al Jazira, the pride of Abu Dhabi and the champions of the Arabian Gulf League, had been training hard, with everything to play for ahead of their opening game against OFC Champions League winners Auckland City from New Zealand.
احنا وايد فخورين ان احنا راح نمثل الامارات في كاس العالم للأندية. اتوقع ان كل لاعب يطمح انه يلعب هذه البطولة.
If they win the first match against Auckland and the second match against the Asian team, it's a good chance for them to play against the best team in the world, which is Real Madrid.
With final preparations completed, match day 1 in Al Ain saw Auckland take on Al Jazira at Hazza bin Zayed Stadium. After a tense opening, Brazilian Romarinho edged Al Jazira in front just before half-time. And Auckland City failed to find a way back, which meant the local side progressed to the next round, much to the joy of the home support and the Al Jazira head coach.
We are very happy with the win, and I think we made Abu Dhabi and UAE proud.
Match day 2 saw Mexican side Pachuca take on Morocco's Casablanca, while local heroes Al Jazira took on the Urawa Reds from Japan. An extra-time goal sent Pachuca into the semi-finals in the opening game, much to the delight of the travelling Mexican supporters. In the second match, Al Jazira took the lead in the second half through the impressive Ali Mabkout. It was a tense finale as the whole of the UAE willed their team to hold out for a place in the semi-finals.
They're winning with 8 minutes to go. I think if they do it, this will be tremendous news for everybody, and we will see them against Real Madrid.
Urawa came close late on, but the AFC Champions League winners couldn't break down Al Jazira's stubborn defence, leaving the home fans in jubilant mood.
We were a little afraid from this game, but during the game, we felt that Al Jazira will do it.
After 2 tenacious wins for the host team, the world had their eyes on Al Jazira, as their opponents, Spanish giants Real Madrid, arrived ahead of what promised to be the biggest game in UAE history. Coming up in part 2, we find out how Al Jazeera will fare against the defending champions. And we catch up with daredevil racing sisters, the Al Qubaisi.
Speed gives me so much adrenaline. It's like my therapy. My heart is obviously beating so fast. You never know what's gonna happen. A lot goes in your mind when you're behind the wheel. You go through so many emotions in one lap.
Daredevils by nature, Amna and Hamda Al Qubaisi were born to race. Over the past few months, the karting duo has received plenty of attention, both representing the UAE in their respective division championships.
We went in the world final of Le Mans, and Amna and Hamda showed best time in the race. They had quickest lap in the race, so for me it was a big goal.
Eldest sister Amna has made another entry into the record books by becoming the first Emirati female to win the Rotax Max Challenge Series.
I'm very proud of her for everything she achieved. To be honest, she surprised everyone. Hopefully in the following years I would move up to F4 like my sister. From there we would keep going till we could reach the major goal, which is Formula 1.
The role of a technical coach is arguably the most important in shaping an athlete's career. Having worked with a multitude of racing talent, most notably Lewis Hamilton, Lorenzo Balzan has been recently brought in to help the girls get to the next level.
We have this system that is an acquiring system that gives us the specific information of speed, GPS speed, RPM to improve themselves in a shorter time.
It's really important to be comfortable and close to your coach or mechanic, because if you trust someone, you get the best out of them. Lorenzo is a really good coach. He wouldn't leave the track till I have everything right, till the setup is all correct. He's just amazing.
When we are working on the car, there is a time to have some fun, of course, and during the day we are focused on telemetry, and they are really focused.
The career of a racing driver might seem glamorous at first glance, but in order to achieve success, a great deal of sacrifice must be made at every turn.
I really never had time to hang out with friends. I've been so busy with racing. You have to be really committed to do what you want. So it's most of your time, most of your effort, and it's worth it in the end.
2018 will present a new challenge for Amna as she makes the transition from karts to Formula 4 cars in Europe, where she intends to make a big impact.
It's a switch for Amna. She switched from direct drive, okay, to shifting. So that one is a big step because we want her to grow up.
I'll be the only girl. I'm really motivated to represent not just my country, but also the Arab women.
It's hoped that in the years ahead, these Emirati teams will go on to compete in the highest class in motorsport, Formula 1.
I like more girls, more Emiratis to start racing. People used to tell me that I wasn't good, that I wasn't fast enough, that I should take another sport, but I just used that as motivation to push harder, and here I am right now.
As a break from the intensity of organising the FIFA Club World Cup, tournament organisers took part in a friendly match in Zayed Sports City. The Abu Dhabi Sports Council claimed victory in a team featuring UAE women's team coach Faria Al Taheri, who was looking forward to watching Al Jazeera take on the world's best.
I think it's an honor to reach to this level and play against Real Madrid. Always there is a chance. And playing in front of Cristiano Ronaldo and these stars, this is a huge experience.
On the other side of the city, the pride of Abu Dhabi were busy finalising preparations. The players were looking relaxed but determined to give their all against the reigning champions.
الواحد يفكر دائما في الفوز بغض النظر إذا ريال مدريد أو غير ريال مدريد، وإن شاء الله إذا الله قدرنا نحاول نفوز ونستمتع في نفس الوقت، بس الهم الوحيد اللي تفكر فيه توصل النهاية أنت.
طبعا ريال مدريد واحد من اعرق الفرق، اليوم هذا الحلم صار حقيقه، انتم ستجلسون في الملعب والناس هي كلها راح تشاهدكم، فهذه فرصه ان انتم تنقلون رساله للعالم كله ان ابن الإمارات، ابن المنطقة العربية، قادر أنه يكون مبدع.
Real Madrid looked equally relaxed as they entertained the fans in an open training session at Abu Dhabi's NYC University. His Excellency Arif Alawani was delighted to have such world-class talent taking part in the tournament.
We are really happy of having the best 6 teams of the world. We are happy that our representative Al Jazeera can play Real Madrid.
And with the excitement building, the fans were out in force in Al Ain as Urawa Reds beat Casablanca 3-2 to take 5th place overall. Next up, South American champions Gremio began their tournament with a last-gasp victory over Pachuca in the first of the semi-finals. For matchday 4, Zayed Sports City was a hive of activity as passionate fans from far and wide gathered ahead of Al Jazeera's epic semi-final.
Before the game, everybody was afraid. We lose 4 or 5-0 against Real Madrid.
Al Jazeera goalkeeper Ali Kassif kept the fans on the edge of their seats with a series of world-class saves. And then, in the 41st minute, jubilation as Romarinho gave the home side the half-time lead.
Finishing this half 1-0 against Real Madrid, it was something that we are so happy about.
The second half was a different story though, as the visitors showed their class against a battling Al Jazeera, the Spaniards winning 2-1 to progress to the final. Despite the loss, there was no shame for Al Jazeera, who surpassed expectations and made their country proud.
I think it's for the first time that you hear the fans, the whole stadium, did cheer both teams together, because they know that those 2 teams have gave something special.
Coming up in part 3, a look back at the final days of the FIFA Club World Cup and a behind-the-scenes look at Dow racing in Abu Dhabi. The final match day was the culmination of months of hard work, and the record stadium attendance was the perfect reward.
We are happy that during the last 2 games, the semi-final and the final, we did have a full house in Zayed Sports City for the first time. That's mean around 42,000 attended in those 2 matches. The atmosphere of the fans was amazing.
First up, Al Jazeera took on Pachuca in the match for 3rd place. Unfortunately, their efforts against Real Madrid had taken its toll on the Gulf League champions, as the Mexican side won 4-1.
Al Jazeera played a good first half, but in the second half the players were very, very tired. This was shown in front of all the people, and they had many injuries in their team.
And then it was time for the showpiece event, as Real Madrid took on Gremio in the final. The European champions were in control, but it took them until the second half to break the deadlock, when Ronaldo's free kick made him the first player to score in successive Club World Cup finals. Whilst the stadium erupted in celebration, many thoughts were still with Al Jazeera, who'd stolen hearts around the world and hopefully inspired future generations of Emirati stars.
Real Madrid is the greatest team in the world, we know that. They are the winner back-to-back for the Club World Cup for the first time. But everybody was emotional with Al Jazeera, and everybody is optimistic about the future of the football in UAE. We're really proud about what Al Jazeera have done. They have a nickname which is Pride of Abu Dhabi, but we really think that now they are Pride of UAE.
As this epic tournament came to a close, there was little time for reflection, as the sporting season is still in full swing for the Abu Dhabi Sports Council. But the positive memories of this tournament will remain for years to come.
I was happy to work with my colleagues, with my friends. We love football, and we watched all the matches that being held in this tournament. Yes, we had some work to do before and after games, sometimes during the games. This is our job.
All eyes will be on the UAE again later this year, when they host the 2018 FIFA Club World Cup. If it matches the success of this year's tournament, then fans across the globe are in for another world-class football extravaganza.
For centuries before the discovery of oil in the 1970s, Abu Dhabi's economy relied on the pearl trade. Dhows were the vessel of choice for the sailors and pearl divers that helped shape the birth of economic growth in the region. Pearls have now given way to oil, but the passion for sailing remains, and traditional dhow racing has become a hugely popular sport in the region.
All the thanks for Sheikh Zayed, because he's the man who keep this traditional until now. And our government, Sheikh Khalifa, the president, is continuing what Zayed put. That is very important for us.
With the aim of continuing the UAE's nautical traditions, the Abu Dhabi Sailing and Yacht Club has initiated youth development programs to teach kids about both traditional and modern sailing techniques.
100 boats covering the whole island. It's very emotional. We keep the kids involved in traditional dhow racing by having some dhow classes in the school. We have 45 boats sails on the Corniche with young sailors. This has helped to continue having more sailors in the traditional dhows. The whole sailors talking and gathering there, it's very nice to see. It's like the old days.
Throughout the year, we'll have about 270 regular kids coming into the sailing programs. That's through all the different programs that we do, from young boys, young girls, up to the adults, as well as the Special Olympics sailors.
Gracing the same waters their forefathers once sailed in, Abu Dhabi's youth is learning more about Emirati culture through sailing.
Our aim is really to have them participating in national championship events, and then moving on from that towards international events and eventually world championships. And also, hopefully, one day we'll have some sailors going to the Olympics. The maritime heritage, which is very strong here in this country, and for them it's an opportunity to do the sport which their fathers are doing on the dhows. So they're very happy to be able to have this gateway into the sport for them. Eventually, I hope like some of these kids will become the dhow skippers of the future.
Well, that's all for this month. Join us again next month for even more sporting action from Abu Dhabi, the home of sport.